Hey, what's up, guys? It's klaytonOOO, and today I am eating a Hot Pocket because it tastes good. Pepperoni flavored, if you must ask. But anyway, down to business. Get down to business. So, we've got World of Tanks 8.11 come around the corner, man. He's going around the corner. He's going whoosh, whoosh, around the corner. And so, what I've got for you today is quite simply the update. And Confrontation is the new game mode that they've got coming out. Now, it's basically going to be balanced by nation. So it's going to be like the French versus the Americans, or Russians versus the Germans, or the Germans versus the Americas, or the Russians versus Russians. And it's all going to be randomized. Now, from what I understand, that's going to be pretty fucking intense, because if you look at the Americans, they're going to be going hull down and everyone's going to die. Now, personally, I think the Germans are going to whoop everyone's asses. That's just me. The Russians, they may have a shit ton of KV-1Ss, but I think that they're going to rape everyone. But again, that's just me. I got another thing for you, hitting you. I think out of the 6 items, we're on number 3 now. And so, with that said, I give you number 3. Runenburg on fire. Imagine that map on fire, with like the cloud being dark, clouds everywhere, smoke everywhere, rain, and with this darkness factor, let's say give it 10% camouflage all the time. That's going to be pretty nasty, I think. All those tank destroyers, they're going to be pretty damn deadly, because you won't be able to see that distance clearly. I mean, you should be able to. Maybe you have a light on or two. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they go silent. But I think that's going to be pretty damn interesting. I think it's going to be really cool how they're able to make the city on fire without having it being daylight. Because if they do it daylight, it's just going to be boring and dull, and I don't think anybody's really going to care for that. I think if it was dark and it had a bit of emphasis on, like, maybe planes, going overhead like they do on some maps, like what map is that? Aircraft or
airbase?
No,
Airfield.
Airfield. That's the map. Airfield. Like, how they've got like 1 or 2 planes flying in the sky. Well, maybe they can have like B-2 bombers in that bitch, flying over and like bombs blowing up the buildings instead of blowing up the actual tanks themselves. Like, it's not obviously like War Thunder at all, where like, oh, call in artillery strike, with scout tanks. No, it's nothing like that. But even with that said, if you could do it where you could have like the buildings actually exploding, being on fire, like at the start of the match, like maybe you could have planes flying over and like attacking each other, like up top. Just as a show, not really attacking the tanks, but just like blowing up buildings, not the tanks themselves. So you can keep playing, you'll hear in the background, boom, and you look to your left in your tank, and you'll notice like a building just got all sorts of fucked, and you just keep going. Like, I think that'd be really cool to see. But again, that's the expectation I want to see when this is probably either all finished or at least something close to that. Something close. Now, obviously, my expectation is really high. That's like 100%. That's my expectation right there. Now, what I'm probably going to get is maybe 10% of that, with like buildings on fire, maybe some pieces and parts of the ground that were originally on fire before the map was all sunshine and bullshit and all that good stuff. Maybe some of the corners that we once thought weren't on fire before, they are now, and I just think it'd be really cool. I'd love to see my expectation met. But anyway, that's number 3, guys.
Yep.
Oh, that's right, Himmelsdorf Winter, guys. That is going to be our next one. It's going to be, I think, really cool. I'd love to see that map in winter. I'd love to come around a corner and like push out, like this is the corner, okay? And you push out just a little too far because, well, it's snow, or maybe it's even iced because the road, that could be like super dangerous. You'd have to learn how to go forwards and backwards on the ice, and maybe it changes every time you go forwards. I think that'd be a really cool mechanic to put in there. I know they haven't done it yet, but I think that would add a new dynamic to the game, and I think it would also bring a better quality to the game. I mean, it's already got some decent speed debuffs to all the tanks. I really hate you Wargaming for doing that, but I think it adds a little more realism to it. Although I really kind of liked how the T-50-2 was fast, because you could get on the other side of the map in like 5 seconds flat. You know, downhill, you know, you go across the map like a crazy motherfucker. But the point is that artillery could get in play. Admittedly, you know, it was kind of a crap tank considering that it was more or less an artillery horror that artillery couldn't even deal with, even with its buff. You know, all right up until what 8.0, whatever. It's gonna say it's one of those deals that I could talk about all day, but I'm not going. The tier 10 tanks for all of the game for tank destroyers are basically getting a not a buff but a debuff. They're getting it right in the pooper, just like the artillery did. The only thing that's really bad happening to them is their traverse speed, like turning left, right, and their ability to angle down with their gun. You know how you can aim down. You know, on like the Dicker Max, how the depression. Yeah, thank you. The depression. It's not as good now, and they also got. I think it was like a buff to their suspension, but that's really not gonna matter. Port being removed from this patch as well. So they possibly could be doing some touch-up work. They could very well just get rid of the map altogether, but I doubt that. I think they'll probably just do some touch-up work, maybe do some of the lighting that they've been talking about in these last couple of patches. Yeah, I think that's about it for that particular map. I don't see them really doing anything else. I mean, they might do some touch-up work on maybe some bugs that they probably have for like when you're super close on a hill and you go to shoot and it like hits the hill instead of hitting the target. I find that really annoying. So guys, if you do see any glitches like that at all, please be sure to record it, post it on the forums as a picture and something, and also be sure to put a picture mark like in the area that it is, and just take extra pictures just to make sure you have that spot completely narrowed out and they can take a look at it. A new map that's supposed to be coming out. It's supposed to be called Windstorm, so I'm really excited about that. It's supposed to be a European snow map. There's no pictures of it that I've seen as far as World of Tanks thing at all, so just be ready for that this upcoming little bit. And so some of the maps that they may have added performance for, like Parsay, let's just say on that particular map it ran at maybe 20 FPS, even though you normally run at like 40. I don't know, maybe it just they just improved it somehow. But anyway, here are some of the maps for that: Fisherman's Bay, Serene Coast, Servergosk, which is that snow map with the two mountains, and then there's like a bridge in the middle. It's like a snow map, a Russian, and then Ensk. But anyway, guys, they basically just improved the quality, maybe.